Honorable colleagues, I have an announcement, honorable colleagues, by Honorable Gololo. From Honorable Gololo, with a heavy heart but with total submission to the will of Allah, I wish to inform the House of the death of the mother of Honorable Abdullah Saad Abdul Kadir Baba Yali, member representing Ningi Waji Federal Constituency of Bauchi State. Honorable Abdullah Saad Abdul Kadir's mother died on Saturday, 17 December 2022 in Bauchi. She has been buried according to Islamic rites. May her gentle soul rest in perfect peace, and Al Jannah Fidel be her abode, her final abode. Mr. Speaker, may I request for a minute's silence in her honor. So we'll take a minute's silence in honor of Baba Yali's mother. Please, that's right. May her soul rest in peace. Honorable colleagues, we have another minute's silence. This time around, it's we have another sad announcement, and it's the sudden death of a dedicated and hardworking Sergeant-at-Arms staff, Mr. Bola Moses. The House commiserates with his family and the staff of National Assembly. May his soul rest in peace. I think he's been with us for many years, a very dedicated man. Many of you would know Mr. Bola Moses, if not by name, I'm sure from his pictures you will all know him. Please let us rise for a minute silence. May the soul of Mr. Moses rest in peace. Honorable members, may we not have days of so many minutes silences. I've just been informed by the leader of the House that the leader of the House of the death also of Alhaji Shehu Malami, Serki Sudan Wono, I'm sure we all know who Alhaji Shehu Malami is and his contributions to Nigeria as a whole. This has just been brought to my notice by the leader of the House, Honorable Alassane Ado Dogwa, and unfortunately, we have to also rise for another minute's silence. Honorable Elumelu. May the soul of the departed rest in peace. Honorable colleagues, I have communication from Mr. President. It's 2022 supplementary budget proposal. The President writes that the year 2022 has witnessed the worst flood incidents in recent history, which has caused massive destruction of farmlands at a point already close to harvest season. This may compound the situation of food security and nutrition in this country. The flood and also devastated the road infrastructure across the 36 states and FCT that affected several sections of major roads and bridges nationwide that are critical to movement of goods and services. The water sector was equally affected by the flood, and there is the need to complete some ongoing critical projects that have achieved about 85% completion. The 9 critical projects proposed in the sector cut across water supply, dam projects, and irrigation projects nationwide. I have therefore approved a supplementary 2022 appropriation of 819,536,937.813, all of which are capital expenditure. The supplementary will be financed through additional domestic borrowings, and this will raise the budget deficit for 2022 to 8.17 trillion and deficit GDP ratio to 4.43%. The revised medium-term expenditure framework is attached as Annex 1. The detailed breakdown of the 2022 supplementary is attached as Annex 2. Please accept, Right Honorable Speaker, the assurances of my warm regards. Yours sincerely, M. Buhari. This is referred to the Committee on Appropriation. I also have with me another letter from Mr. President, restructuring of Ways and Means advances. The Ways and Means advances by the Central Bank of Nigeria to the federal government has been a funding option available to the federal government to cater for short-term or emergency finance to fund delayed government expected cash receipts of fiscal deficits. The Ways and Means balances as at 19 December 2022 in the sum of 22,719,703,774,306.90 is hereby attached as Annex 1. The detailed breakdown of the additional 1 trillion to be advanced by the CBN is attached as Annex 2. I have approved the securitization of the Ways and Means balances along the following terms. Amount 23,719,703,774.306. Tenor is 40 years. Moratorium on principal repayment 3 years, and pricing interest rate 9%. Consequently, your concurrence and approval is hereby sought to allow for the implementation of same. Please accept, Right Honorable Speaker, the assurances of and my warm regards. This is referred to Committee on AIDS, Debt, Banking and Finance Committees. AIDS, Loans and Debt, Banking and Finance Committees. Any petitions? Honorable Tolu.
I have 2 petitions. My name is Honorable Tolu Lokpe Akonde Shadipe. I have 2 petitions here with me today. The first one is from the Concerned Youth for Welfareism, and they are petitioning regarding the safety of lives on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway to request urgently that pedestrian bridges be built at the Technical University, the toll gate, the Soka, the Sanyo, the Boluwaji, and the Academy, as well as the Olorun Shogo and Ojo ends of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. The second petition is from the National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS UK chapter, and it's a petition on behalf of Nigerian students who may be deported from the UK as they are facing hardship due to the Form A issues. school fees and accommodation by the Nigerian banks and Central Bank of Nigeria's refusal to remit monies that they have submitted Naira currency in their various bank accounts. May I lay the petitions?
Yes, you may.
Thank you.
Any other petition? Point of order. What's your point of order?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my point of order is on the letter you read, which came from the executive, and it made references to Ways and Means with a tenure of over 40 years, or about 40 years, or is it 14?
40.
40 years. So, Mr. Speaker, I think that is a very important message, very important letter, and would not only affect contemporary Nigeria, it will also affect our children and grandchildren. I think that it is important and prudent that Mr. Speaker should make it available to members able to be put in a position to consider and have a...
Yes. No follow-up. Yes. No.
Mr. Speaker, respected colleagues, my name is Ahmed Idris. I represent Wasefere Constituent Plateau State. Mr. Speaker, respected colleagues, we have a procedure in this house. When communications are read on the floor of the House, what is supposed to be done is to refer to the appropriate committee. And that's, I believe that's what the Speaker have done. And I want to appeal that what has taken place is from the normal tenor, and I think of what is supposed to be done. I want to beg that the ruling done by the Speaker should be sustained, and that we should make progress. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you, Diaz. So let's move on to, well, on petitions. Leader, you have a point of order? Okay.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My respected colleagues, sir, it's not like a new point of order that I'm raising. I rise not only to concur. Member here rises to say that we need a copy of a communication, of the communication of Mr. President. And I believe we can give you the copies of the communication of Mr. President, but nothing more than that. Please, thank you.
Honorable Omorege, you have a petition. Oh, Hassan, who has? Who? Honorable Banikoro.
Order, please. Please.
Deputy Speaker, my dear colleagues, Clerk of the House, pressmen, I'm Representative Ibrahim Babajide of Banikoro. I speak for Itiosa Federal Constituency in the Center of Excellence in the land of our local Lagos State. Mr. Speaker, I rise on behalf of my constituents to lay a petition on IMTUs, International Money Transfer Organizations. Mr. Speaker, I seek your permission to lay this petition. On IMTUs. It's on IMTUs.
Silence, please. Silence, please. Honorable Boma, take your seat.
Their main goal or their aim is to get CBN to make sure that all the 47 IMTUs only monetary system and banking system in Nigeria.
Yeah, please, you can lay your petition.
Thank you, sir.
Honorable, is Omorige here? He has a petition. Or is it Hassan?
Mr. Speaker, my name is Hassan Abdullahi. I represent the Kina Basafara constituency. I am from Kogi State, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker.
Speak to your mic. We can hardly hear you. Honorable members.
Silence, please.
I represent the Kina Basafara constituency. I move.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
It's not a petition. So,
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that the House do suspend Order 8 through 4 to enable me to take this motion on the need for the adequate accountability and appropriate distribution of looted artifacts returned to Nigeria, Mr. Speaker. I don't move, Mr. Speaker.
okay, any seconder? Honorable Sejus.
Mr. Speaker, my highly esteemed colleagues, I'm Sejus Ose Ogun. I represent Eastern Northeast, Eastern Southeast, and I'm from Edo State. I rise to second the motion ably moved by my colleague. I so second.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. Hassan, move your motion.
Mr. Speaker,
All members, silence, please. Silence, please.
Mr. Speaker, I still remain Honorable Hassan Abdullahi. I represent the Kina Basafara constituency. I am from Kogi State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move the motion on the need for urgent accountability and appropriate distribution of looted artifacts returned to Nigeria from Europe.
Silence, please. Silence.
And
Silence,
other
please.
parts of the world to their places of origin, Mr. Speaker. The House note that over 125 years ago, various artifacts belonging to Nigeria, especially from the palace of the Oba of Benin Kingdom, were looted by foreign governments and its people. Informed that Mr. President, in recent statements, said that efforts are being made to have these artifacts returned to the country, and further instructed that they are finally returned to places where they were removed. Aware that on the 17th of October 2002, museum officials in the United States took historic steps by returning 30 valuable bronze artifacts to their original home in Nigeria. Recall that these bronze sculptures earlier displayed in 2 U.S. museums in Washington, known as Benin bronzes belonging to the Kingdom of Benin, present-day Nigeria. Aware that earlier in the year, the Honeyman Museum in the southeast London promised to return a total of 72 artifacts back to Nigeria. Agree with the German foreign minister in her statement that it was wrong for them to have taken them, and even worse, to have kept them, hence the gradual return of these artifacts to their places of origin. It is also on record that in July this year, Germany returned 2 of these priceless artifacts to Nigeria and have in the last few days returned over 20 more pieces of the valuable artifacts.
Leader, DS.
Conscious that having accused foreign nations of looting and keeping our treasured artifacts, we cannot be seen of doing same to the returned artifact without sending them to their places of
Minority Leader
in Nigeria. Resolve. Mandate the House Committee on Culture and Tourism to liaise with the Ministry of Information and Culture and the National Council for Museum and Monument on memorandum and understanding an agreement made on this artifact. 2. Inventory of all artifacts already returned to Nigeria and yet to be returned. 3. Ensure that appropriate plans are made to return these artifacts to places they were looted from, with strategies to conserve and preserve these artifacts at those original locations, also palaces. 4. Urge the federal government to officially gadget this artifact appropriately. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Sorry, gentlemen, that was very crucial. So are we done with the motion? Should we just put the question? Does anybody want to speak against the motion? If nobody wants to speak against the motion, then let's put the question. Who's the seconder? Princess.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On this auspicious day of my birthday, my name is Honorable Princess Miriam Odinaka Onoha. I represent the people of Isia Lamba, Onimo, Akigwe Federal Constituency. I am from Imo State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I rise this morning to second the motion ably moved by my brother and colleague, Honorable Hassan. I so second. Thank you all for your best wishes.
Thank you. I believe this motion is about the seized artifacts that are on their way back. If there's nobody speaking against it, then we'll save legislative time. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. So we finally go to the order paper. And honorable members, the first business of the day is the presentation of 12 bills. And I invite the clerk to read the short title.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members, FCT Statutory Appropriation Bill 2023, first reading. Legislative Houses Powers and Privileges Act Amendment Bill 2022, first reading. Federal University of Gusau, Zamfara State Establishment Bill 2022, first reading. Federal University of Education, Okene Establishment Bill 2022, first reading. Federal Medical Center, Obupa, Nsuka Establishment Bill 2022, first reading. Federal University of Health Sciences, Umumpei, Mvosi, Abia State Establishment Bill 2022, first reading. Nigerian Institute of Mining and Geosciences, JOS, Establishment Bill 2022, first reading. Nigerian National Guard Establishment Bill 2022, first reading. Nigerian Intelligence Trust Fund Establishment Bill 2022, first reading. Association of National Accountants of Nigeria Act Amendment Bill 2022, first reading. Chartered Compliance of Nigeria Establishment Bill 2022, first reading. Federal University of History, Archaeology, ACA, Kwara State Establishment Bill 2022, first reading.
Okay, I've just been asked to make assurances double sure, even though I believe that we've already passed it in the body of the motion, and the prayer which says mandate the House Committee on Culture and Tourism to liaise. So I think the chairman wants me to formally refer it to your committee. It is neither here nor there, but okay. So the matter, the last motion is referred to the Committee on Culture and Tourism to liaise with the Ministry of Information. The second business of the day is presentation of report of the Committee on Power on the issue from the Statutory Revenue Fund of the Federal Government Power Company Limited, the total sum of 95,261,665,187 naira only, which is for total expenditure, out of which the sum of 2,823,904,716 naira only is for overhead costs, while the sum of 867,800,471 naira only is for personnel costs, and the sum of 91,569,960,000 only is for capital expenditure for the year ending 31 December 2022. Standing in the name of Honorable Magaji Dao Aliu, honorable members will recall that the budget was referred to the committee on Thursday, 8 December 2022. The report is ready for presentation. Honorable Aliu is invited to present the report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name remains Magaji Dao Aliu, member representing Burnukudu Bojipira constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from the Jigawa State. I do hear that the House to receive the report of Committee on Power on the issue from the Statutory Revenue Fund of the Federal Government Power Company Limited, the total sum of 95,261,665,187 only is for the total expenditure, out of which 2,823,904,713 naira only is for overhead cost, while 867,800,471 naira is for personnel cost, while sum of 91,969,936,000 naira is capital expenditure for the year ending 23 December 2022. I so move.
Honorable Shatima.
I'm the only Shatima, but not Vice President. Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable colleagues, I am Lawan Shatima Ali, representing Bursari Gaidami Nusarpere Constituency from Yobe Sesa. I rise to second the motion ably moved by Apple Chairman, Honorable Engineer Dao Magaji. I so second, sir.
Okay. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Honorable Aliu, please lay a report. The third business of the day is presentation of report of the Committee on Tertiary Education and Services on a bill for an act to establish a Federal College of Education, Undo, Edo, Eket, Akwa Ibom, and for related matters standing in the name of Honorable Aminu Suleiman. All members will recall that the bill was referred to the committee on Tuesday, 13 December 2022. Report is ready for presentation. Honorable Suleiman is invited to present the report. I understand Honorable Suleiman is not here, and I believe Honorable the Deputy Leader, yes, Deputy Leader is going to be moving that motion. Deputy Leader, go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, and my distinguished colleagues, Comrade Peter Ohionzo J. Akpatasin, MNI. Mr. Speaker, I represent the great people of Akoko Edo Federal Constituency, and I am from Edo State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that the House do receive the report of the Committee on Tertiary Education and Services on a bill for an act to establish the Federal College of Education, Ndwe Edo Eket, Akwa Ibom State, and for related matters, HB 2085. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, can we get a seconder for that? Honorable Kole.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for yielding the floor to me. I remain Honorable Uko Ndukwe Nkole. I represent Arochukwu Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Abia State and a member of People's Democratic Party. I stand to second the motion well moved by the Deputy Leader of the House.
You're a member of what?
I'm a member of the Presidential Campaign Council of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Speaker. I stand to second the motion ably moved by the majority leader. Thank you,
How's your campaign going? How's your campaign going?
I hope there's no, okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker. You can see yesterday in Kasana, where Mr. President is coming from, the place is already blinking, shaking. Let me borrow from...
But that must have cost you guys a lot. How much did you pay?
Mr. Speaker, you know we have...
It's all right, it's all right.
Thank you. We have organic support. We have organic support. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Honorable Boma. Is that Honorable Boma at the back there? Honorable Boma, please move forward. Come front. We haven't seen you. Come. How are the twins? How are the twins doing? Let's move forward, Honorable Boma. The fourth business of the day is presentation of report of the Conference Committee on a bill for an act to repeal the National Secondary Education Commission Act, laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the National Senior Secondary Education Commission Bill to prescribe minimum center. What's going on there? To prescribe the minimum standards for senior secondary education in Nigeria manage the National Senior Secondary Education Commission Fund, and for related matters, stand in the name of Honorable Julius Inyovere. Honorable Inyovere is invited to present the report.
Mr. Speaker, I'm Professor Julius Inyovere, representing the good people of Owan Federal Constituency, Edo State. I rise to move that the House do receive the report of the Conference Committee on a bill for an act to repeal the National Secondary Education Commission N73 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004 and enact the National Senior Secondary Education Commission Bill to prescribe minimum standards for senior secondary education in Nigeria, manage the National Senior Secondary Education Commission Fund, and for related matters. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
Please, this motion needs to be seconded by Honorable Boma Goodhead. Honorable Boma, please second this.
It's not working. Okay. Good afternoon. I'm Honorable Boba Goodhead, representing Nakukutara Territorial Federal Constituency. I second this motion, and I so move. I so second. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Motion moved by Honorable Inyovere, seconded by proud mother of twins, Honorable Boma Goodhead. Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Honorable Inyovere, please lay your report. Now, the first order of the day is the third reading of a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of Federal University of Education Technical, Bichi, Kano State. Establishment Bill 2022, standing in the name of the House Leader, the proud father of 27. Honorable members will recall that the House adopted the report of the Committee of the Whole on the bill on Tuesday, 30 December 2022. I therefore call on the Leader of the House, Honorable Alhassan Ado Dogwa, to move that the bill be now read the third time.
Thank you. Right Honorable Speaker. My respected colleagues, honorable members, I remain Alhassan Ado Dogwa, representing Dogwa Tudunwada Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I am from Kano State. I rise, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, as directed by the Speaker to take item number 1 on the order paper, which is a bill for an act to provide for establishment of Federal University of Education Technical, Bichi, in Kano State, which is an establishment bill, Mr. Speaker, 2022, HB 2139, be taken the third time. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I so move.
Honorable Aisha Duku, please second.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Highly respected colleagues, I am Honorable Aisha Duku, Yimbier Duku, member representing Dukuna for the Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from Gombe State. I rise to second the motion ably moved by our leader. I so second.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Honorable Alassane Dogo, I believe the next 5 items are meant for third reading and to save legislative time. Can you take all 5 together, please?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. The Speaker of the 9th House of Representatives, Right Honorable Femi Bajabiamila, the Sadauki of Yauri, a member of the Yauri Ancient Council Emirate. Mr. Speaker, I rise today not only as leader of the House, but I double, like your humble self, as the Sardauna of the ancient Reno Kingdom in Kano State. The Sadauki of Yauri, as directed and by your leave, I would like to take item number 2 on the order paper to the 6th item on the order paper simultaneously, Mr. Speaker, like you rightly permitted. I said, I think, without you noticing, that I pay my homage to the Sadauki of Yauri, a member of the Yauri Council of...
What's your point of order? Are you observing the leader, your leader? All right, what's your point of order, please?
You cite the order. Cite the order.
No.
You should cite the order.
What order? What order? What order?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, Toby Okechukwu is my name. I represent an area of Wajiriba Federal Constituency from Enugu State. Mr. Speaker, my point of order. Can I drop my point, sir? Allow me to cite the order. Don't preempt me.
I think he's about to cite it. He's about to cite it.
Just a moment, sir. In parliamentary debates, you have to exercise patience.
Honorable Toby,
Mr.
when you are
Speaker,
speaking, you address the chair. Don't address any member on the floor. That is out of order for you to address a member on the floor. If you are given the opportunity to speak, you address the chair. Don't address members and be pointing at members. It's out of order.
Mr. Speaker, I am entitled by the rules of this House to raise a point of order. And I should enjoy the protection of the Speaker and presiding officer. I said that once the Speaker gives me recognition to raise a point of order, I should enjoy his protection and protection of those who want to create some level of chaos. I was about to cite my order. I don't know why I should be preempted. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, can you listen to me in silence?
Honorable Toby, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I know I will continue to enjoy your protection. The House leader severally referred to you as Sheikh.
Point of order. What's the point of order? What is the point of order? What is your point of order? Cite me the point of order. You said you were about to cite it. You said you were about to cite it, so cite it.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, please, I want you to refer to Order 1, Rule 2, and the convention and practice of this House. Just a moment, sir. Why are you in a hurry? Allow me to drop my point. You can have your 15 minutes of fame. Mr. Speaker, we are elected as members of our representatives. not Sadano of Rano. And Mr. Speaker,
What order are you referring to?
Order 1, Rule 2.
What does it say?
And in this instance,
What does it say? Read order
in
1,
all
rule 2.
cases not provided, or hereinafter, or by sessional or other orders, procedure, precedents, or practice of the House shall by resolution negotiate this procedure.
So how is that? We're talking about resolutions there.
Mr.
We're talking
Speaker,
about You need to point me. You need to point me to the point of order you're raising.
Mr. Speaker, I have not finished.
Okay, you have not finished. Okay, they've just given you another one. Cite that one too. We've knocked out the first one. Cite another one.
Yes. The proceedings of this House, Order 1, Rule 1. Listen very well, so that you'll not be confused. The proceedings in the House of Representatives and in all committees of the House shall be conducted in accordance with these standing orders.
Yeah.
And the standing order makes reference to members of House of Representatives, not maybe members of cabinet of traditional institutions. If he wants to talk, he should talk as a member and House leader, not introduce himself as Sadano of Rano and tell us that he's speaking in that way. So, title that has no recognition in this House. Mr. Speaker,
when you get up to speak, does the House standing order, does it ask you to repeat the constituency you are represented?
not the title.
Does it ask you,
Not as a,
if you are to refer to yourself as a member, does it say you should go ahead and say, I represent so constituency? It does not say so in the standing order. So we have been violating our standing order.
No.
You are ruled out of order.
I'm in order.
Mr. Speaker, Right Honorable Femi. Mr. Speaker, Right Honorable Femi Bajabiamila. And Mr. Speaker, by the protection of the ruling, I would like to repeat that Right Honorable Femi Bajabiamila, Commander of the Federal Republic CFR, the Sadauki of Yauri, member of the Yauri Emirate Ancient Council, Mr. Speaker, a bridge builder.
You forgot.
A bridge builder, a peacemaker.
You forgot.
The Speaker.
You forgot the Bashofi.
The Speaker. The Speaker that brought to an end ASU crisis in Nigeria with the support of our members. The Speaker who has made a beautiful promise and will be fulfilled. Mr. Speaker, I rise. I rise, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. As member representing Dogwa Tudunwada Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker, and I want to humbly say that I also double as the Sardauna of the Lano Ancient Kingdom. I wouldn't mind, Mr. Speaker, to join issues with my brother. He was doing that out of MB because he is neither an Eze, he's not an Ozo, he doesn't hold any traditional title in the respected southeastern part of this country. He is a private person, he has no title whatsoever. The red cap he is using is a Concosia cap. Concosia cap. And on that note, Mr. Speaker, I move that a bill for an act to provide for establishment of Federal University of Agriculture at Dambata, Kano State, Establishment Bill 2022 HB 2140 be taken the third time. Item number 3, Mr. Speaker, is another bill for an act to repeal the Oath of Act Cap 01, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the Oath Bill to take cognizance of technological advancements and make provisions for digital and electronic means of administering oath and affirmation in Nigeria and for related matters, HB 2018 be taken the third time. Mr. Speaker, the fourth item on the order paper is another bill for an act to provide for establishment of Federal College of Horticulture, Okigwe in Imo State, and for related matters, HB 1456 be taken the third time. A bill for an act to provide for establishment of Institute of Environmental Practitioners of Nigeria and for related matters, HB 353 be taken the third time. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the sixth item on the order paper today is a bill for an act to provide for the regulation and conduct of the practice of broadcasting profession in Nigeria and for related matters, HB 1150 be taken the third time concurrently. Mr. Speaker, my respected colleagues, I so move.
Honorable Toby Okechukwu, can you second the...
Mr. Speaker, you remain a peacemaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would have said point of order or declined to second, but knowing that I am the Inyeriop of Enugu State, knowing that I am the Omelora of Enugu State.
Somebody is raising a point of order against you. Somebody is raising a point of order against you. What's your point of order? There's a point of order. There's a point of order.
The same point of order he
He's a young parliamentarian.
Order 1, Rule 1, sir.
Order 1, Rule 1.
Yes, sir.
The same point of order, Honorable Toby raised.
Yes, sir.
What is the point of order?
He said the proceedings in the House of Representatives and in all committees of the House shall be conducted in accordance with these standing orders. That's all, sir.
So you are using his point of order against him?
Yes, sir.
But I've already ruled him out of order.
That was him, sir.
There was a ruling.
That was him, sir.
There was a...
Honorable Toby, no. You are protected. You can use your title that is known only to you.
That are known to him only. Mutatis is mutatis mutandis.
Mr. Speaker,
mutatis
honorable colleagues, the ratio dissidending on this matter is that the Speaker had ruled that you can introduce yourself with all the appellations and accompaniments of your title. Mr. Speaker, I hereby second the 2 to 6 orders of the House as moved by the House Leader, the proud father of 27 children. I so move. 28.
I'm still counting.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable, what's that? Osai? Huh?
Probably in future time we shall debate this issue in the academic domain.
Which issue?
Which is supposed to be addressed.
Which issue?
Mr. Speaker, your ruling cannot be questioned. So on this one, you have ruled.
You remain.
I ruled on the motion.
You stand
That's what I'm
guided.
saying.
You stand guided.
You've ruled.
On the motion that was seconded by
You've
him.
ruled both on the motion. You have also ruled based on point of order.
And you are guided.
So, and the point of order as ruled by Mr. Speaker cannot be questioned.
And you are guided.
According to our rules. All my feeling is that in future, now we might look at this issue academically again, based on our rules.
I am, Honorable Losai.
I just put a caveat for tomorrow.
No.
Yeah.
No. I give you the right to challenge.
No, I cannot question your ruling, sir.
Question it.
No, I can't.
Question
For
it.
today, I can't.
So ba ni ma da lambar taka yanzu ba ni ma da lambar komai sai sabuwar waya na sake jiya a wajen daurin aure ne wallahi na zubar da wani ka sake turo mu ko kuma ka rubuta mun a takarda ba sai ka
Honorable Losai,
na san sunan ka ne.
bring your point of order tomorrow. I want you to bring it. The seventh order of the day is commencement of debate. Oh, sorry. I now invite the clerk to read the long titles of, I think it was the 6 bills.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act provide for establishment of Federal University of Education Technical, Bichi, Kano State, Establishment Bill 2022, third reading. A bill for an act provide for establishment of Federal University of Agriculture, Dambata, Kano State, Establishment Bill 2022, third reading. A bill for an act to repeal the Odds Act Cap 01, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the Odds Bill to take cognizance of technological advancements and make provisions for digital and electronic means of administering odds and affirmations in Nigeria and for related matters, third reading. A bill for an act to provide for establishment of Federal College of Horticulture, Okigwe, Imo State, and for related matters, third reading. A bill for an act provide for establishment of Institute of Environmental Practitioners of Nigeria and for related matters, third reading. A bill for an act provide for the regulation and conduct of the practice of broadcasting of profession in Nigeria and for related matters, third reading.
The bills are read the third time and passed. Seventh order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to amend the legislative honors or legislative houses, powers and privileges act 2017 and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila. 100 members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Wednesday, 21st December 2022. I now invite myself to move that the bill be now read the second time. I have some co-sponsors on this bill. I believe Kakale, Aisha Duku. Is there anybody, any co-sponsor on the floor? Aisha, are you ready to move this? Aisha, do you want to take it tomorrow? Huh? Huh?
Mr. Speaker, you can allow someone on the floor to lead on your behalf.
Matter step down. Step down.
Mr. Speaker, you are protected.
Otherwise,
by
I can come down and move my motion. I can come down and do this myself. But okay, yes.
Your Excellency, Mr. Speaker, my name is Ahmed Izi. I represent Wasai, Federal Constituency Plateau State. Mr. Speaker, I guess the right approach in this case is to suspend our rule to allow somebody to take, that should be the correct direction to move, sir. Thank you, sir. Excellency, that was she's a constitution.
No. Honorable Duku, please come. Actually, Honorable Duku was is on another bill. It's another bill, not this one. So I think yes, let's just step it down till tomorrow. We'll just step it down till tomorrow. Thank you. The eighth order of the day is a commencement of the debate on the general purpose of a bill for an act to repeal the National Library Act, Cap N56, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the National Library of Nigeria, strengthen its statutory functions, and for related matters, stand in the name of the House Leader. Other members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Wednesday, 23rd November, and I invite the Leader to move that the bill be read a second time.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My respected colleagues, I remain Al-Hassan Ado Dogwa, Mr. Speaker, representing the good people of Tudunwada Dogwa Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I am from Kano State. I rise at this moment, Mr. Speaker, as directed, that item number 8 on the order paper, which is a bill for an act to repeal the National Library Act, Cap N56, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the National Library of Nigeria Bill, strengthen its statutory functions, and for related matters, HB 2109 be read the second time. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I so move.
Thank you. Honorable Osai, please second. Honorable Osai, please second. Honorable Osai, can you second? Osai, are you?
Okay, Mr. Speaker. Distinguished honorable colleagues, I remain Honorable Osai Nicholas Osai, and I represent the good people of Ndokwa Okwani Federal Constituency of Delta State. I'm an Okwani man. I rise dutifully, respectfully, and constitutionally to second the motion heavily moved by the powerful leader of this honorable House as it relates to a bill for an act to repeal the National Library Act as in item 8. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Those who support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. The bill is referred to the Committee on Tertiary Education and Services. Oh, clerk, sorry, read the long title.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to repeal the National Library Act, Cap N56, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the National Library of Nigeria, strengthen its statutory functions and for related matters. Second reading.
Referred to Committee on Tertiary. The ninth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to repeal the National Commission for Museums and Monuments Act, Cap N19, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the National Commission for Museums and Monuments Bill 2022 to reposition the Commission to meet the current realities in heritage resource management and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Dachong Musa Bagos. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, 13th December 2022, and I invite Honorable Bagos to move that the bill be read the second time.
Mr. Speaker, Honorable Bagos is what on the floor. I move that the second reading of this bill be stepped down by the leave of the House. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Bill stepped down. 10th order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to amend the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act 2015 to increase the penalty of the offenses of female genital mutilation under the bill and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Ganu Abiodun Johnson. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Wednesday, 2nd of March 2022, and I invite Honorable Johnson to move that the bill be read a second time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Abdul Ghani Johnson. I represent the good people of Oshodi Sol of Federal Constituency 2. I'm from Lagos. I rise to move the motion on a bill for an act to amend the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act 2015 to increase the penalty for the offense of female genital mutilation under the bill, and for related matters, HB 1883, to be read for the second time. Thank you.
Thank you. Just for the interest of the public, your bill is, you are seeking to review the penalty from what to what? What was the penalty before and what are you trying to do now?
The penalty before was 4 years, okay? Now I'm trying to raise the bar to 5 years. Then in Naira terms, the penalty before was...
No, just, we're not going to go into the debate yet. I just wanted to know.
I know.
Okay.
200,000.
So 4 to 5 years. And then 200,000.
Now we are raising it to 1 million.
Okay. 4 to 5 years, 200 to 1 million.
Yes, sir.
Any seconder? Honorable, no, JJ, you're from Lagos. Let's 1 million. Yes, Honorable, the Chief Whip is second because I think he has to. You yield your time. He wants to contribute because he is interested in this matter. Chief Whip.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, my name is Mohamed Tahir Monguno. I represent Marte Monguno Ganza Federal Constituency of Borno State. I second the second reading of this bill. Thank you.
Thank you. So, in the interest of time, do you mind yielding your time to him? He wants to contribute. Honorable Johnson, right? Okay. So, just contribute to the debate and then we'll put the question, unless anybody wants to speak against it.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, my name is Mohamed Tahir Monguno. I represent Marte Monguno Ganza Federal Constituency of Borno State. Mr. Speaker, I want to most sincerely and profoundly thank Honorable Ganyu for his foresight and vision in sponsoring this bill. My intention was equally to sponsor such a bill until I saw it on the order paper today. That is why I'm so passionate about it, and I want to contribute my widow's mite towards the second reading of this bill. I've carefully gone through the submissions provided by Honorable Ganyu, and I adopt same as mine, and further want to state that my passion for contributing to this bill is because of the avalanche of this practice in my constituency, particularly in one local government of my constituency, where this practice of female genital mutilation is very, very rampant. Against all the laws that are in place, the practice is still going on. So it is not enough for us to increase the penalty. There is a need for relevant agencies of government, community leaders, to go embark upon aggressive campaign with a view to raising awareness of parents and community members about the dangers that is associated with this practice of female genital mutilation. So it is not enough to raise the bar with regard to the penalty. There is also the need for government to embark upon massive sensitization of people against this practice. That is my contribution. Thank you.
Is there any voice against this? Honorable Toby. Amendment? Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, Well, this bill, which is to amend the Violence Against Persons and for other related matters regarding the mutilation of our young girls and children. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my amendment is based on the fact that this debate and this discussion about and complaints against this mutilation has run for a close up to 3 decades, for over 30 years. And we wouldn't be doing a law which in the next few years we need to amend again. So I'm believing that the punishment that should be meted out should not only be 1 million, it should be graded up to 2 million, so that violence is violence, and we should not in any way or manner tolerate it or make it clement for people who are undertaking that enterprise. We have had a lot of young people and young children go out seeking asylum based on this, making it very, very uncomfortable for them to live in their own environment. So any punishment that will prohibit and encourage the prohibition of this violence should be done. So I'm moving that we should upgrade it to 2 million.
Any seconder? You want a second? I'll mark you on a second. Then we go to the road team.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My honorable colleagues, I'm Abubakar Maki Eleman. I'm from Jigawa State. I represent Malamaduru Kaugama Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion as amended by my senior colleague. I saw second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, point of order. At this stage, we cannot amend at this stage. You can only contribute to the general principles of the bill. You cannot at this stage amend. You can only amend at the stage of consideration. You can only amend at the stage of, for now, it's general principles. Mr. Speaker. Yes, that is what I'm trying to do. Yeah, I'm going. Page 74.
I think, okay, go ahead. What page?
Page 74. Order 12.6. A bill committed, any committee to which a bill is committed to should have power to make such amendments herein as the committee shall think fit, provided that every amendment shall be...
What order are you reading? Order
12.6.
26.
12.6.
Order 12, Rule 6.
Yes.
And that's on page 74?
Yes, 74.
And what does it say? I think...
a bill committed to the Committee of the Whole House after the second reading may be taken forward or one.
I think the relevant Honorable Osai, since you were, can you look at order 8, Rule 10? And what does it say? Order 8, Rule 10. Yes, page 44. My reading of that basically says you can amend. The rule, don't read what the rule does not say into it. It says, let me read. Amendments proposed to any motion or bill under consideration. Do we agree that this bill is under consideration? Okay. It says amendments proposed to any motion or bill under consideration in the House or a committee shall only be in order if they are relevant to the question or matter under discussion. So in other words, if they are relevant, then an amendment can be made. Yes. You are reading extraneous. Go strictly by that provision. The bill is not under consideration. Okay, that's a new one. So the bill is not under consideration at second reading.
Amendment.
During the... No, wait. Read what I just said to you. It talks about in the House or a committee. In the House or a committee. That's what the rule says. It doesn't say committee of the whole. It does not say committee of the whole.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, then we'll take
I
Sada
remain
after
Honorable Ndodi Godwin Delumelu, and I represent the good people of our Church from the Federal Concern from Delta State. Mr. Speaker, during debate on second reading, during debate on second reading, our rules does not allow for any amendment. What that can take place is after it has been committed to the committee for consideration, the committee, in preparing their report, can make that an amendment. Then when they now bring it to committee of the law, if there are people during consideration who have issues with the line information, can also propose an amendment. So there are two forms. One is at the committee level, and the other one is at the committee of the whole. Anything outside the two.
So why does this rule that I just read to you,
yes,
why doesn't it say at committee of the, why does it say House?
Well, mind you, Section 62, Section 62 of the Nigerian Constitution has made a copious provision for us to set up committees. And by effect, the committee represents the House.
Read that provision again. It gives you two. It can be under a committee and it can be under the House.
Yes.
It's under discussion now.
The House is in the committee.
It is under discussion now.
The House is the committee of the whole.
No, the House is not in the committee. No.
You cannot make an amendment when we are debating. You cannot make an amendment during debate.
Chairman, Business and Rules. Okay, yes, sorry, Sada. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, if we look at Order 8, Rule 10, is saying amendments proposed to any motion or bill under consideration. Mr. Speaker, if we look at our order paper, we have a consideration section that will consider bills. This bill that we're talking about now is not under consideration based on our order paper, but under second reading. And second reading, clearly our rule says you can only discuss the general principles, the merit and demerit. We have not reached the point where we will report the bill for consideration. Therefore, it goes through some panel beatings that will come back to the House for passage. But we are not yet there. We are putting the cart before the horse. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
When you are debating the merits and demerits of a bill,
yes, Mr. Speaker,
you cannot be said that you are considering the bill.
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Any other consideration?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. I'm from Plateau State, Mr. Speaker. Dr. Simon Marcon is my name, and I represent the good people of Barkiladi and Rio. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I want to speak against the bill.
No. Before you speak against the bill, I want to clear this matter. Now, Honorable Sada, I want you to read Order 8 holistically, not just Rule 10. Go to Rule 11, and then go to Rule 11, Sub 3. But let me read it to you. Let's look at Order 8, Rule 11, Sub 2. Or rather, Rule 12, Sub 2. 12 sub 2. It says, upon an amendment to leave out the words, which is an amendment, you're trying to leave out certain words and insert certain words, the Speaker or the Chairman shall state the amendment and propose the question, right? In interpreting that, if you are saying consideration is only at the committee of the whole, then the word speaker will be left out. It will be the chairman. So by including the word speaker or chairman, what this rule is saying is that either the speaker, as I am here, or the chairman at the committee of the whole can propose the question of amendment. Do you understand what I'm saying? And if you read the gamut of Order 8 throughout the length and breadth, all the provisions there, they refer to either speaker or chairman. Your mic, yeah.
Mr. Speaker, the whole idea of Order 8, Rule 10 is the House is anticipating that this bill will go second reading, will be committed to the committee, it will undergo a lot of amendments, then it will be reported back to the House for the House to consider it and make other necessary amendments.
Yeah, but but the Speaker is not speaking at the committee of whole as Speaker, is the chairman. So why is that word speaker put there?
Mr. Speaker, the chairman here is talking about at the committee level when they are considering this bill at the consideration, after it has been committed to the committee.
Then when he's talking about the Speaker, is at what level?
Mr. Speaker, granted you amended this bill at the second reading. what will happen to the bill, what will happen to the amendment of the House if it goes to the committee?
Babangida.
What will happen to that amendment?
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Babangida Ibrahim. I'm representing Malamfashi Kafur Federal Constituency. I'm from Katsina State. Mr. Speaker, if you look at Order 8 Rule 10, it's talking about motion and a bill. But if you go to 11, it's only talking about a motion. It's not making reference to any bill. If you go to 12, subsection 1, it said, upon an amendment to insert or to add word, the Speaker or the Chairman shall state the amendment and propose the questions thereof in the form of that those questions be there inserted or added. With regard to putting the Speaker or the Chairman, it's making reference to the Speaker when it relates to a motion. Because this bill we are discussing now has not even passed second reading. So that don't interrupt me.
Very good.
The Speaker issue.
Answer, Sejos. Do you have a?
Because two words are using.
Do you have a chairman presiding over it?
Bill. So, if a motion is used, it relates to the Speaker when he's presiding. If chairman is used, it's during consideration. And Mr. Speaker, let us look at Order 8 Rule 10. It's talking about consideration. This bill has not even passed second stage. It's still under discussion. We assume it's still under first reading. Because we have not even seconded it. So how can you start amending a bill that has not even passed second reading?
Yeah, go ahead. Just read it. No. That provision is not relevant. If it says with amendment, doesn't mean that it doesn't say that there will be no amendments at any other stage. But you see why I'm laboring this thing. When he raised that matter of amendment, I was already going to say that can you amend at this stage? But because it has not come up, it's good to actually interrogate whether or not, my first inclination when he raised this point of order was that, can you amend at this stage? But now other things are coming up. If you read, go to page 42, unless the rules, that's page 42, Order 8, I believe it is, Order 8, Rule 8. Unless the rules otherwise direct, notice shall be given of any motion which is proposed to be moved, with the exception of the following. A motion or amendment made or offered in committee of the whole. A motion, if you go further down, it talks about committee of the whole. If you go further down again, it talks about committee of the whole. My point is this: unless you unless you call it inelegant drafting, where a rule talks about committee, you cannot say they can. I think yes, what you have said, but that is the practice and procedure. But he raised something which has now generated debate. I don't see anything in our rules that says,
because you have changed the caption.
Order 8, relevance of amendments. Amendments, go to Order 12. Hold on, sir. Hold on. Go to Order 12.5.3, which reads.
No, but wait, before you move on. So what you have interpreted as house in that.
Fine in our rules.
So when he says, we have to move on.
Honorable Toby proposed the amendment. Has not committed any.
So I think we need to, because now there's ambiguity. We don't have his amendment. Where were we? It has been moved and seconded by the whip. Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Long title, please.
An act to amend the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act 2015 to increase the penalty for the offense of female genital mutilation under the bill and for related.
Suggests that is national. We can have a national, and then for I don't think, precedents are, we are not slaves to precedents. We will look at precedents, but we'll also look at the reality on ground. If the two can be consolidated, they said it was unlisted, and the chairman, let's hear from the chairman business.
Mr. Speaker, his bill was actually listed for second.
When did this so it was listed for second reading?
Yes.
When did this come up for first reading?
I will need to look at the records.
I want you to look at the dates.
Yeah, okay.
When this was listed for second reading, yes, and when this came up for first reading.
Okay, sir.
It will help us make sense in a lot of things.
Yes, sir.
So in the meantime, I think it's better to tarry and err on the side of caution first. And hopefully we'll still take it, Honorable Ifmelu, but we have to do justice to everybody concerned.
Okay.
Thank you.
I rise to move a motion on the need to introduce anti-corruption classes and training into the primary and junior secondary schools curricula to aid in the fight against corruption and improve civic consciousness amongst the Nigerian populace. And I'm privileged to sponsor this motion with Right Honorable Femi Bajabi Amila, Honorable Shehu Kakale, and Honorable Musa Bagos. The House notes that corruption is a scourge with devastating consequences on every facet of the Nigerian state, society, and sectors of the economy. Aware that the blight of corruption in the Nigerian society is a source of concern for all well-meaning citizens and friends of the country, cognizant of the various anti-corruption efforts by successive governments that have not put an end to corruption in the country, urging our national sense of right and wrong beyond repair. Also observed is the absence of a deliberate national strategy to engage citizens from the early stages of their lives to identify time through sustained efforts by government, civil society, religious organizations, and citizens working together to reprogram the way we think about the causes and consequences and programs. 2, the House urged the Committees on Basic Education Services and Legislative Compliance to ensure compliance. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Secretary.
Federal constituency. I'm from Bayelsa State. I rise.
Ayes have it. Bring it. Even then, I'll be talking to. The clerk has just received a letter which I want to share with members. The letter is from the Central Bank of Nigeria, and it says invitation. He comes back in January. A lot would have happened between now and then. But stability, which is what this is about, and who is coming with the committee of governors. I think the point has been made. Let us hear from her, because if we hear from her, we're hearing from the governor. It is akin to me going somewhere and I'm unable to make it, and particularly because of what if he had said he cannot make it, he's somewhere else.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my point of order essentially comes from the orders of the House. Prior to this time, if by any chance Mr. Speaker wants to go back to announcements, I think we need to suspend the rules and the order presently for you to go back to announcements. Then we look at the weight of what is being presented to us and take a decision. Thank you very much.
Okay, but I did not suspend the rules, and I've read the letter. So
it was read in error. It has been read in error. We can correct ourselves.
Yeah, I think this House stand to millions of Nigerians as the House of the masses. And I believe, seeing the kind of the CBN governor we have today, in terms of respecting the institution, the constitution of this country, especially the constitutional authority as the committee of the House. Fine, this is not the committee, but the whole House is now inviting the governor. And he started giving excuse upon excuse upon excuse. Mr. Speaker, if the House want to consider the representative of the governor to see the House, then I would suggest that then you refer them to the committee of the House. Then they can report back to the House. But if you are now inviting the representative of the deputy governor to come and speak to the House, Mr. Speaker, it will not augur well with the institutions of this House. Mr. Speaker, I want to suggest that if that is the opinion of the House, then we refer them to the committee of the House.
JJ.
Thank you very much. My name is Jim Abdurrahim Olajide. I represent Lagos Midland Federal Constituency, Lagos State. Mr. Speaker, I want to suggest that considering the fact that we have heard from the letter sent to us, this is an institution. The CBN is also an institution. We should not go on personality. We have invited the CBN governor. If he's not going to be around, and they have promised that another body from the CBN will come to come and address this institution for the purpose of clarity and some other germane issues that is of necessity to be cleared, I think we should allow that to happen. That's just it. Thank you.
Chief Whip.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members. Well, though human memory is momentary, if I can refresh our memory. Yesterday, our resolution is to the effect that the CBN governor should come. Parabencho, if he is unable to come for one reason or the other, he can nominate.
No. If he's still out of the country.
If he's still out of the country, okay. If he's still out of the country, he can nominate a competent official or a competent deputy governor that can come and brief the House. Now he's still out of the country. He has nominated a deputy governor to come and brief the House as per our resolution. So what he has done is in consonance with the resolution that was passed by this House. So we should allow the deputy governor to come and brief the House. We are only interested about the facts. We are not interested about the personalities that is going to come and brief the House. So in that case, we should allow our resolution that we passed yesterday to stand.
We've heard from the Chief. Deputy Speaker, do you have any opinion on this?
Your Excellency, Mr. Speaker, respected colleagues, I think Honorable Ibrahim Olajide has captured what is supposed to be a formal proceedings of the House. That we are not pursuing it personal, but in the interest of our own country, whatever we are doing. And CBN governor is not alone. He's the head of an institution. So if the remaining are coming on his behalf and they are sufficient, and they will give us sufficient information, I think there's nothing bad about that. More so, he spoke about health condition, which you and I cannot and don't have any control over it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So I don't think there's any question to put, so we'll expect the team, the Committee of Governors led by Mrs. Aisha Ahmed, Deputy Governor of Financial System Stability, tomorrow at 10 a.m. to brief the House on the new cash policy as prescribed by the CBN Act. The briefing of the House tomorrow, 10 a.m. Okay, we're going to consideration of reports now, and the 15th order of the day is consideration of reports of the Committee on Power on the issue from the Statutory Revenue Fund of the Federal Government Power Company Limited, the total sum of 95,261,665,187 naira only for total expenditure, out of which 2,823,904,616 million is for overhead costs, while the sum of 867,800,471 naira only is for personnel costs, while the sum of 91,569,960,000 naira only is for capital expenditure for the year 31st December 2022. Honorable members will recall that the report was laid on Wednesday, 21st December 2022. Honorable Magaji will now move for its consideration. Honorable Magaji.
Honorable Speaker, honorable colleague, my name is Magaji Da'u Aliyu, member representing Burnung Kudu Boji, Pera constituency. The Speaker, I'm from Jigawa State. I rise proposed for consideration our report on the issue of the Statutory Revenue Fund of the Federal Government Power Company Limited to the total sum of 95,261,665,187 naira only is for the total expenditure, out of which 2,823,904,716 naira only is for overhead costs, while the sum of 867,800,471 naira only is for personnel costs, while the sum of 91,569,960,000 naira only is for capital expenditure for the year ending 31st December 2022. I so propose for consideration. Thank you.
Any Honorable Duku.
Right Honorable Speaker, my highly respected colleagues, I'm Honorable Aisha Jibril Duku, Gimbier Duku, member representing Dukuna for the Federal Constituency. I'm from Gombe State. I rise to second the motion for the consideration of the report by the Committee of Power. I so second.
I saw that. Yes. Those in favor, please say aye. Those against say nay. House, the ayes have it. House Leader, can you please move that the House is up to the Committee of Supply? Deputy House Leader, Committee of Supply.
Mr. Speaker, my distinguished colleagues, Comrade Peter Ohiozoje, Abatasin MNI. I represent the great people of Akoko-Edo Federal Constituency. I am from Edo State. Mr. Speaker, I move that this House do revert to the Committee of Supply. I so move.
Okay, any seconder? Aromaki.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My honorable colleagues, I rise to move that the House do move to the Committee of Supply. Who is that? Somebody move? Okay. I rise to second the motion heavily moved by my senior colleague that the House do move to Committee of the Supply. I so second, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Yeah, those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. House hereby resolves to the Committee of Supply. Honourable members, the report to be considered is that of the Committee on Power on the issue from the Statutory Revenue Fund of the sum of 95 billion 261,665,187 naira only for total expenditure, and the sum of 2,823,904,716 naira only for overhead costs, while the sum of 867,800,471 naira only for personnel costs, while the sum of 91,569,960,000 naira only is for capital expenditure for the year ending 31st December 2022. And I invite Honorable Magaji to give the synopsis of the report. I'm not sure I'm able to control your...
Thank you, Mr.
You can, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a budget of a company called Federal Government Power Company, which is under the Presidential Power Initiative. We are hereby asking for the consideration of the House Committee on Supply to approve their budget as stated here. That the total sum of 95 billion 261 million 665,187 naira only is for the total expenditure, while 2,823,904,716 naira only is for the overhead cost, while 867,800,471 naira only is for the personnel cost, while the sum of 91,500,000,500. This will augment the work that the government is doing to fund the NIPP project, the Plenary Initiative project, which is popularly called the Siemens project. I so submit. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Ali. The question is a very lengthy one with recommendations, so we'll just take all together. So the question is that the recommendations as contained in the report stand part of the report. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, say nay. Ayes have it. Deputy Leader, please move that we revert to plenary. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
It has been supplied. We've just supplied it. Yes.
I now move that we revert to plenary to present report. I so move.
Honorable Toby, please second.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Following the due consideration of the Committee on Supply, I hereby second that the House moves back to plenary to report progress. I so second.
Thank you, Honorable Toby. House reverts to plenary. Honorable Magaji, Honorable Toby is not happy that your supply was fast. I don't know what his problem is. You have a problem with fast supply? Okay. Honorable colleagues, the House and the Committee of Supply consider the report of the Committee on Power and the House consider the report on the Committee on Power on the issue from the Statutory Revenue Fund of the Federal Government, the total sum of 95,261,665,187 naira only for total expenditure, out of which the sum of 2 naira only is for overhead costs, while the sum of 8 recommendations.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, Comrade Peter, here's the day practicing.
Honorable Jimo. Those in favor of the motion for adoption, please say aye. Those against, say nay. Ayes have it. Honorable Magaji, congratulations on perhaps the fastest supply consideration in the House, in the history of the House. Yes, very well done. For a good job too. You did a good job. I read it thoroughly before today. I don't know if other members did, but I read your report very thoroughly. You're welcome. Oh, all the committee members are here? You only have 12 people in your committee?
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. Point of order. Point of order.
Honorable Toby, the whole of today you have kept us behind 3 hours. What is your point of order now?
My point of order is that the House is not properly constituted. It's dominated by members of the Standing Committee on Power. So we may go back to the Committee of Supply.
Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, we are not under any threat because they are members of the Standing Committee, but they are all sitting. They are not standing. So
Leader,
as long as they are not standing, I don't think they are
the members of the committee, they stood up for recognition, about 8 of them.
No, but they went back to their seats, sir. They didn't keep standing.
Congratulations, members of the Power Committee.
Congratulations, the chairman. It's because he observes due process.
Chairman, see the House leader later.
Yes.
Honorable colleagues, a motion was, a resolution was reached yesterday to investigate the loss of over $2.4 billion in revenue from illegal sale of 48 million barrels of crude oil export in 2015, which included the crude oil, with Honorable Mark Biller as the chairman. Honorable
Move that the House do resolve to the Committee of the Whole to consider reports. I so move.
Those in favor, sorry, Seconder. By Elsa.
Southern Ijaw Federal Constituency, I'm from Bayelsa State. I rise to second the motion that the House do revert to the Committee of the Whole as moved by the Deputy Leader. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Leader, sorry, House to say about the Committee of the Whole to consider reports. Respected colleagues, the first bill to be considered is for an act to provide for the establishment of Chartered Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineering of Nigeria to satisfy, regulate, and determine the standard of knowledge and practice to be attained by persons seeking to become Chartered Electrical and Electronic Engineering personnel and for related matters. And I invite the leader of the House to listen of the bill. I don't know, it's like you are duplicating some of this work for us. If my memory doesn't betray me, I want to believe we have considered this bill. If you did third reading, it means that we have passed the bill. We couldn't have done third reading without passing the bill. We have done that. Check their record. And I remember somebody raised an issue on that particular day. You remember? No, let them cross-check first. But I'm pretty sure that we'll pass this bill. We'll go ahead for the other consideration while you could check our records for us. But I'm very, very sure we'll pass this bill. Maybe give me an appointment later so that I can also help you in doing your work. Black, give me an appointment later. It will help you. Respected colleagues, kindly allow us to step this one temporarily, pending when they will do the clarification. The second bill the bill to consider is for an act to provide for the procedure and ceremony of transmission and assumption of the office of the President and the Vice President by the President-elect and the Vice President-elect, and to facilitate the handover process by the outgoing President and the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and for related matters. I now invite the leader to give the synopsis of the bill. Synopsis.
Mr. Speaker.
Oh, we step down.
Step down?
I don't know. It depends on your readiness.
I'm not suggesting that we step down, sir.
Okay.
Except if there are compelling reasons.
No, I say I don't know. It depends on your readiness. I'm loyal.
Okay. Yeah, Mr. Chair, actually, this is a very important bill which seeks to provide for an excellent, procedure for the handover of powers. We all know the importance of a very smooth and well-regulated procedure for handover of power from one government to the other. If this kind of proper arrangement was in place in the United States of America, I'm not sure that the situation that happened on the 6th of January would have happened. I'm sure that those are the kind of things that this seeks to address. So I would urge that my colleagues do passionately consider this for passage. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
I thought instead of going to America, you make reference to Ghana here, our neighboring country, within the West African sub-region. They have a transition bureau, and from day one, from the assumption of office of the president, they have what they call the complete documentation of what is going on. So when it comes to transition, it's very simple to hand over, and I think this is the attempt that's been made to achieve. No, don't go to America. We have also developed, and our colleagues are doing better. So we could also do better and better than them too. Yes. Thank you.
So actually, my reference to America was to point out that there's a negative case.
You know, the issue is that some of us are too local for American distance. That's why we're.
Okay,
Thank you. And we appreciate the milestone achievement of our neighboring black countries. That's all. Thank you. We mustn't copy from America. Thank you very much, colleagues. Clause 1. Clause 1. Clause 2. I hope you are going through it. Clause 3. Clause 4. Clause 5. Clause 6. Clause 7. Clause 8. Clause 9. Clause 10. 11. Clause 11. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, plus 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, plus 28, explanatory memoranda, long title. Have you done the confirmation or not yet? It shouldn't take time. Respected colleagues, the third bill to be considered, or the second bill to be considered, is for an act to amend the Evidence Act, Cap E1 follows Nigeria to bring provision into the. In fact, we have done something similar on this one too. Fulata, what's happening? This Evidence Act. Yes, sir. The Evidence Act. What's happening? Could check their records. I want to believe we have done something like that. Now I'm not stepping down. Could check first. Immediately you go, you have your records. You should have your records. Two of the bills now. So temporarily step down. Okay. So this bill is temporarily stepped down for consideration pending their own, the outcome of their own findings. The next bill to be considered is for an act to repeal the National Inland Waterways Authority Act Cap N47 Laws of Federation of Nigeria 2004 and to enact the Nigerian Inland Waterways Act, establish a Nigerian Inland Waterways Authority to provide for the management, regulation, and development of Nigerian inland waterways and to promote private sector participation in the development of the Nigerian inland waterways in Nigeria and for that matter. Now I invite the Leader of the House to give the Senate of the report. Or you allow Honorable Dr. Patrick, I guess his own bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Whip. May I move that this bill, which actually was passed by both chambers in the last session but wasn't signed by the President, now that we have removed the areas he complained about and the ambiguities he complained about, be passed by this House, I so move that we consider and pass this bill, because this bill will make NIWA equal to MPA, equal to NIMASA, and will not depend on national budget anymore. I so move.
Thank you, sir. Quite easy done. So, I want to believe so. If it has been passed, and maybe clean again, so all we need is to affirm what has taken place. Plus 1, 2, 3, 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus 8, plus 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, schedules, explanatory memoranda, if there's any. Explanatory memoranda, long title. Respected colleagues, the next report to be considered is for an act to repeal the repeal the Notaries Public Act Cap 141 Laws of Nigeria 2004 and enact the Notaries Public Act Bill 2022 to provide for the appointment of the Notaries Public, their registration and regulate their duty of the office of the Notary Public, and to make provisions for the performance of digital and remote notarization of documents by notaries, public Nigeria, and recognition of digitally notarized documents has been validly notarized and fully matters. Now invite the leader to give the synopsis of the bill.
Mr. Chair. He's inviting you. Oh, yeah, okay. I thought you were inviting him, sir. Mr. Chair, basically, this bill seeks to digitize the process of the jobs of notaries public in the country by introducing modern clauses to the acts that have been repealed. The first one was in 1963, another one in 2004. And between then and now, the world, including our nation, has advanced in technology. But like we had in the case of Electoral Act the other time, the absence of certain provision in the old laws made the process of applying technology to the activities of notaries public a very difficult one. And so this document seeks to, regulate those obsolete, provisions so that notaries public can apply technology in the conduct of the activities. And I'm sure that, we will all, appreciate that this is the way to go. So I urge that we, support the consideration. Thank you.
How many clauses? I thought you are speaking to documents, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Clause 1, clause 2, 3, 4, clause 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Clause 11, 12, 13, 14, clause 15, clause 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, clause 26, clause 27, clause 28, 29, 30, clause 31, 31. Thank you. Schedules. Thank you. Long title. What's your finding? Madam? No. We have done charter in this one. We have also done this one. so that we'll fast track what we're doing. I'm taking it back to the one we temporarily stepped down on the Institute for Electrical and Electronic Engineering of Nigeria. Clause 1. Very sure. I know. For life, no. Clause 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, long title. Evidence Act, Clause 1, Clause 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, Clause 8, Clause 9, Clause 10, 11, Clause 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 16, explanatory memoranda, a long title. Respected colleagues, the sixth bill to be considered for an act to establish Federal College of Nursing and Midwifery, Ado, Odo, Ota, Ogun State, and for the matter, now invite the leader to give the synopsis of the bill.
Mr. Speaker, this clearly is an establishment bill that seeks to establish Federal College of Nursing and Midwifery, Ado, in Ogun State, to provide services, medical services for people in that area. It comprises of a number of recommendations which are all in line with the appropriate acts of law for establishing such school. So, Mr. Speaker, I urge that our colleagues do support the Constitution. Thank you.
Honorable Ngladima, you have the floor. You have the floor. Colleagues, clause 1, 2, 3, clause 4, 5, clause 6, clause 7, clause 8, clause 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, clause 20, clause 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Colleagues, I don't know. Check 19. Shall be a qualified accountant with no less than 10 years post-qualification. What is the qualification of qualified accountant? Is it not supposed to be stated clearly? Is it assumed? It's not. It's ambiguous. That's why, so that you don't allow. They're making laws. Well, you understand? You understand? Well, so that you appreciate what I'm saying, go to 20. He said, librarian shall have degree in library sciences with no less than 10 years post-qualification experience as a librarian. You know, it's clearly spelled out in this case. So also, the registrar shall be an experienced graduate of humanities with no less than 15 years experience in public administration. You have qualified first the minimum in terms of education attainment, which I thought this one should also contain. I don't know. Thank you. The accountants are here, so they should help us. That's the question I'm asking. Clause 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, clause 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, explanatory memoranda, long title. Babangida, you are not helping us, your knowledge, your background.
You don't use professional, you don't discriminate. It can be, you see, what now?
Allow him, sir. Allow him, sir.
Allow me to respond now. You see, when you say professional qualified accountants, what is the definition of qualified accountant? Somebody that read BSc accounting is an accountant. You cannot use professional qualification as the basis for recruitment and public service. It's only an added advantage. Yeah.
We are not debating, no.
We are not debating.
We are not debating.
That's why I said it can be part of the requirement, but
Respected colleagues, the seventh bill to be considered is for an act to establish Federal Capital Territory Health Insurance Agency to institute the Federal Capital Territory Health Insurance Scheme and provide comprehensive, quality and affordable health care services for the residents of Federal Capital Territory and for related matters. I now invite the Leader of the House to give the synopsis of the report.
Mr. Speaker, the bill before us seeks to establish an insurance, a comprehensive one for that matter, scheme to ensure that the people in FCT have access to quality medical services and provide insurance, regulate the insurance of health services in Federal Capital Territory so that a lot of people who hitherto did not have access could latch on to such new innovation and development to gain access to quality medical services in FCT. This is a global practice. It's a thing that is done everywhere. When you're traveling out of Nigeria to so many countries, you are required to obtain insurance, medical insurance, certificate before you go into that country, just in case anything happens. The insurance provides or gives you access to medical treatment. We've not had a very robust one in most parts of Nigeria, and this is an innovation that I think is worthy of our support.
I think
a lot of
the whole gamut here is that recognizing FCT as a state, to domesticate. That's what, thank you, sir. As a state, giving similarity to what is, that's the whole essence of it. Which FCT is?
I thought what I said is not different from that in any case, because I specifically mentioned that this is to give access to. Please, let's make it clear. Yes, I did make the point that this is to give access to those in Federal Capital Territory. Whether you call it domestication or you had call it giving them access, I think it is the same thing basically. Thank you.
Sir, are you objecting?
Mr. Chairman, nowhere in our laws that FCT is considered as a state. It's considered as a territory. And that territory, it adds its own residents. It provided services for those residents. And then this is added to the service quality and providing by the administration of the territory. I think it's just a political issue that we look at FCT as a state, but nowhere in our constitution is considered as a state. So we should go by the law. It's a territory, and it has the right, as it has the National Assembly as its own state assembly that can make laws for it to function well.
I want to believe we are guided to the amendment didn't sell through for that recognition of that space. We are hoping those of us for the next central, you will allow us to have that amendment. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chairman,
I say guided. We are guided by a.
FCT is not in North Central. FCT is in the center of Nigeria.
Central of Nigeria,
Yes.
not Central Nigeria.
No, Mr. Chairman.
Not Central Nigeria. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Clause 1, clause 2, 3, 4, clause 5, 6, clause 7, clause 8, Plus 9, 10. Plus 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, plus 20, 21, 22, plus 23, plus 24, 25, 26, plus 27, plus 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 42? Okay.
Mr. Chairman, if you look at 41, 3A, I think, Mr. Chairman, this fine is very lenient. If you look at the misconduct, practitioner commit a misconduct, and then you equate 100,000 with 2 years imprisonment. People will just go on, commit these offenses, and they know they have 100,000 and pay off and go home. Excuse me, sir. You know how our courts are. We should factor every consideration when we're making laws. Laws should be futuristic. We don't know the value of 100,000 naira in the next 2 years in Nigeria. But we know the punishment of 2 years imprisonment in the next 10 years. We don't know the value of 100,000 naira in the next 2 years, but you know if you go to prison in the next 2 years or 10 years for 2 years, you know what you will suffer. So I think we should make it.
No, I think I tend to believe what you're saying. If you look at the value of 100,000 naira, of course, and if they have the opportunity, it depends on the person who is sitting on the chair as a judge. As for me, 100,000 is too small.
Mr. Chairman, in my own opinion, this is a lawmaking body. We must not surrender the opportunity we have in order to punish offenders and surrender it to our judges or to the judiciary. We must guide the way our judiciary should behave in administering justice. Because some of the weaknesses of our laws is what we see that manifest in some of the pronouncement of our judiciary.
So propose the amendment.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much, sir. In as much as I agree with him, law should not be rigid. We should not be rigid when it comes to law. No, you can be futuristic, but we must not be rigid. Because in this case, he said, or, it now depends on the judge himself to determine what is going to be. Now let's go back to that 13, that clause 13 we are referring to. What is the offense there? The clause 13 we are referring to. So the making law allow the judge to determine what to do, either to imprison him or to commit him to another thing, or fine him with 100,000.
But I thought that the essence of punishment is to serve as deterrent. And if the punishment is not quite there and then you allow other avenues for the exploit of it to loosen the ends, it may not help us. I'm compelled to reason along his own line, because if you are going to be given a 2 years offense imprisonment to serve, and then 100,000 naira. Can they be equated? What is wrong if you now equate this one to either 500,000 or 1 million naira as the option for the fine at least it will help even in building our infrastructure in the correctional centers. Instead of 100,000 naira, 100,000 naira is not quite sufficient. It's not quite deterrent for anybody at this stage. That's my personal opinion. But from here, I cannot. Thank you. 1 million.
Yeah. 1 million, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, let's look at it this way. Mr. Chairman, let's look at it this way. You are going to go and see a doctor, and then the registrar is looking for your insurance card. You have an emergency. They couldn't locate your card. Deliberately, the clerk hid it, and in the course of that, you died. What will happen? Because they could not expedite to bring out your card for them to know that your insurance is on order, is in order, and then they delayed for you to see the medical practitioner to attend to you, because they have to confirm all these things. Whether you have paid your contribution and other things, they have to locate your records.
I will not take a contribution for good reasons. I will not take a contribution on this matter for good reasons.
Mr. Chairman, these things do happen, especially in our hospitals, healthcare providers. This negligence and so many other things, they do happen. I think we should protect our citizens very well.
Yeah. Balsa.
In the case of a first offender, to a fine of at least 100,000 or an imprisonment not exceeding 2 years or both, it gives a clear understanding that you have the two extreme cases. The offender could have offended on the basis of negligence. In one case, it's also possible that the offender did it deliberately. So it's within the discretion of a presiding judge in a case to look at the two extremes and say, this person should take this fine. So in lawmaking, I think that what is contained here, it's exactly the way it should be.
But when he have succeeded in criminalizing of the offense he's committing, what is bad in making a more harsh or more deterrent punishment for the person committing the offense? That's why I thought the two can go side by side. The option of fine is what we are looking. If you are sending somebody to prison for a period of 2 years, compared to 100.
I think in this case, we must not be thinking about the monetary value. We must not be thinking about the monetary value. What you should be thinking is deterrent. If somebody has committed this, let the court decide whether to jail him or not. If we had value to it,
we are not asking, Jimu, we are not asking that they should be freed or not be freed. We are comparing the punishment. 2 years is not you rather make it 7 days, so that you go with the lightest offense punishment. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I want to move for amendment of
Minimum fine. Minimum clause 41.
I want to move for an amendment on clause 41(3)(a), that the amount of fine be increased to 500,000 naira. And B also should be increased to Subsequent offender, 1 million.
Thank you. Seconder? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Tijanika Ismail. I rise to second the motion amendment heavily moved by Honorable Bangida. I so second.
Favor of the amendment. For the question first. Those in favor of the amendment, say aye. Against, say nay. Those in favor of the amendment, say aye. Against, say nay. The ayes have it. Yes. 31 as amended. Sorry, 41 as amended. 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 52? No, 51. 52, yes, citation. Then, 51, okay, 51, sorry. Then schedules, explanatory memoranda. Respected colleagues, the first report to be considered is for that committee on land transport on a bill for an act to repeal the Nigerian Institute for Transport Technology Act 116 laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004 to end the Nigerian Institute of Transport Technology bill to provide for full-time and part-time courses of instruction and training for the general development of transport and the logistics sector of the Nigerian economy for junior, middle, senior cadre, managers, technicians, technologists, artisans, and for matters. And I invite Honorable Abbas to move that, to give the synopsis of the bill. Honorable Babangida, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, honorable colleagues. This bill is a repeal of an existing task of Nigerian Institute of Transport Technology. The intention of this bill, or the objective of this bill, number one, is to provide intelligence centers to monitor logistics system performance, also provide specialization, specialized management and technical training for personnel, promote the deployment of technology and digitalization in the transport sector. The current act covers only the public service. This act is going to cover both private and public sector. And also the intention is to also introduce digitalization of training of professionals within the transport sector. Thank you.
Thank you. Plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, schedules. Long title. The second report to be considered is that of Committee on Tertiary Education and Services on a bill for an act to establish Federal College of Education. Ndo Iket Akwa Ibom State, and for the matters, now invite the Honorable Suleiman Goro to give the synopsis of the report. Who is standing in for him? It wasn't leader. Education. Okay.
I did. Chairman and my colleagues, this is a fresh bill that seeks to establish a tertiary institution, particularly in the area of technical education, to provide courses and various courses, rather, both full-time and part-time, in the area of technology in particular. Mr. Speaker, this presentation contains about 21 recommendations, all of them in line with the proper procedure for the establishment of a school of this kind. I believe that we should consider it because it's going to add to the body of knowledge in the area of science and technology by the time it is established.
Thank you, Leader. 1 plus 2, 3, 5, 6 to 12, 13 to 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Explanatory memoranda, long title. The third report to consider is that Committee on Electoral Matters on the bill for an act to establish National Electoral Offensive Commission and for the matters. Now invite Honorable Aisha Duku Gimben Doku to give the synopsis of the report.
Thank you, Right Honorable Chairman, my highly respected colleagues. The bill has 7 sections and 44 clauses, and the main objectives of the bill is to create a commission, sir, that has power to arrest, to investigate, and prosecute electoral offenders, which include the following: offenses related to register of voters, voters' cards, etc., offenses committed by election officials, offenses related to impersonation, offenses related to undue influence, offenses relating to bribery, offenses relating to perversion of electoral justice, offenses relating to prohibition on disturbing public peace, offenses relating to prohibition on damaging of character, offenses relating to restriction on election campaigns, offenses relating to prohibition on campaign against national interest, offenses relating to prohibition on obstructing votes counting, or other acts inhibiting electoral due process, offenses relating to employer allowing employees reasonable period for voting, offenses relating to limitation of political propaganda on polling day, offenses relating to false information, offenses relating to election expenses, and offenses relating to prohibition on hate speech. Mr. Chairman, this is the main crux of this bill, and if this commission is established, it will help in investigating and prosecuting electoral offenders. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Colleagues? Clause 1. Yes, sir.
No, my own is on. Okay, I remain Honorable Ndodi Godwin Elmelu. I represent Anocho Federal Consortium. I'm from Delta State. Mr. Chairman, I've looked at this bill. Very nice bill. Extremely very, very nice. And honestly, I will wish that we can pass it. But I have issue with it because if we pass it without laying good foundation, we may end up doing exercise in futility. For instance, you know, if you look at members of the commission, in recruiting those who should be members, qualification of members have not been stated here. They are not here. Whether staff or even members, they are not here. The qualification is not stated. There's no subhead for qualification. So you can put anybody in it. Maybe the chairman of the electoral panel should be able to advise us why they omitted the qualification. Even if the president wants to appoint, there should be qualification, there should be requirement for them to be so appointed. There must be condition, there must be a degree or school cert or primary school certificate. Something must be stated, but it's vague. It's not here. And if we go ahead, I'm afraid it may cause a lot of problem in going further. So this is my own. Maybe
well, I appreciate, and in every appointment you make, of course, you have to have minimum qualification. This is a tribunal, so what could be the qualification for the person to hold that kind of responsibility? Madam will step down for today, try and clean it up, and going through it quickly. These two other important areas are also missing in the bill. You don't have explanatory memoranda, you don't have schedules. They are important in a bill like this. There should be. Because, thank you. Commissions. I think, Jimo, you want to add value?
Yes.
Okay.
On the first one we discussed, you know, you did mention that this is a tribunal. No, this is not a tribunal. This is a commission. This is a commission and not tribunal. And the Constitution of Nigeria, for anybody to be appointed as a member of commission, you must qualify to contest an election. So that qualification is for all. The qualification to contest an election is for every single Nigerian. So before you can now be nominated to be a member of a commission, you must qualify to contest an election. And there are qualifications in the Constitution of Nigeria as to who and who supposed to be appointed as a member of commission. If you are talking of tribunal, it's a speciality. And that's just the issue. Thank you.
So, Gimben Duku, yeah, you have a little more work to do to the 10-year bill. Bill consideration stepped down by the leader of the House for further legislative action. I thought the work was done in good conscience. Eh? Okay. Respected colleagues, the fourth report to be considered is that of the Committee on Agricultural Colleges and Institutions on a bill for an act to establish Federal College of Agriculture, Technical, Ogupi Imbiri, Bayer State, to provide full-time courses, teaching, instructions, and training in agricultural technology, agriculture, and to carry out its due administration and management and for matters. And I invite Honorable Monin Babana Agudi, ably represented by the most senior Shetima of the House.
What? Original Shetima. Yeah, Mr. Chairman, honorable colleagues, I'm once again standing in for my chairman, who is unavoidably absent, that is Honorable Munir Baba Da Agundi. Mr. Chairman, this is an establishment bill aimed at promoting and advancing agricultural practice in Nigeria. Its objectives also include to develop the needed manpower in agriculture in order to trigger food security, generate massive employment for the citizenry, raise the living standard of Nigerians, boost agricultural contribution to the country's GDP, and to enhance foreign exchange earnings, among others. I therefore urge my honorable dear colleagues to expeditiously consider this bill and pass. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, to consider and pass, I say. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for accepting me to stand in for my chairman, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 to 15, 16 to 21, 22, 23, 24. Schedules, explanatory memoranda, long title. The fifth report will concern that of capital market and institutions on a bill for an act to repeal the Investment and Security Act 2007 and enact the Investment and Security Bill to establish Securities and Exchange Commission as an apex regulatory authority for the Nigerian capital market, as well as regulation of the market to ensure capital formation, the protection of the market to ensure capital formation and protection of investors, maintain fair, efficient, and transparent market and reduction of systemic risks and for matters. And I invite Honorable Babangida to give the synopsis of the report.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, honorable colleagues. This bill is a repeal of Security and Investment Act 2007, and the object of the bill, number one, is to make Security and Exchange Commission an apex regulatory body, and also to enhance provisions relating to efficient regulation of investments and funding schemes in Nigeria. Also, there was introduction of the new provisions regulating derivatives and commodity exchanges, which are not covered under the existing act. Also, a new provision was also made to regulate the activities of financial market inspectors, netting and bankruptcy. Also, a deletion relating to merger was deleted because a provision has already been made under Federal Competitive and Consumer Protection Commission. Amendment also on the criteria of borrowing powers of nationals also is being enhanced, where the state government want to go to the capital market and borrow, or where the local government can go into the capital market and borrow. And also it expands the reinforcement of provisions and establishment of Investment and Security Tribunal. My leader. Thank you, my chairman.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. Yeah, report here. I sent you 1 plus 1.
Sorry, sir. Am I recognized?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. Jibo Abdurrahim Olajide is my name. I represent Lagos Mail and Vera constituency, Lagos State. This is too voluminous, and I can say it to be an omnibus bill. If we want to take it seriously, we take it from page 1 to page 493. So we are done with immediately. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I thought you would appreciate the good work done. I've tried to. Thank you. I've tried. First, the intent of the bill. It should be encouraged. We should have it. And then I believe it strengthens our capital market. Thank you. No, I won't do that. I won't do that. Maybe I've carried other explanation. Plus 1, 2 to 50, 50 to 100, 100 to 150, 151 to 200, 251 to 300, 300 to 357. Schedule, explanatory memoranda, long title of the bill. The sixth report to be considered is that of capital market and institutions on the bill for an act to repeal the Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers Act C9 Laws of Federation of Nigeria 2004 and provide for the establishment of Chartered Institute of Securities and Investment and for related matters. I now invite Babangida to give the synopsis of the report.
Mr. Chairman, honorable colleagues, this bill is also a repeal. It's a repeal bill. And the essence of making this repeal is because of the current globalization. The capital market has gone digital, has gone globalized, so there is a need to enhance and to widen the scope of the institute with regard to basic training, specialized training that are supposed to be offered within the capital market. That's the essence of this bill. Thank you.
Respected colleagues, clause 1, 2, 3, 4 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, 21 to 24. Explanatory memoranda, long title. Thank you. Respected colleagues, the seventh report to consider is that of Committee on Science and Technology on a bill for an act to establish National Research Institute for Chemical Technology to provide globally competitive and environmentally friendly, innovative research and development in the processing and conversion of indigenous raw materials into valuable chemical and petrochemical products for the development of chemicals, biological and man-made fiber technologies for industrial application in Nigeria and for later matters. And I invite Honorable Benilar to give the Senate with the report.
Sorry, Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm standing in for my chairman.
As Deputy Chairman?
As member of the committee.
As Deputy Chairman of the committee?
As a member of the committee.
Active chairman.
She had just step out.
What is the new information?
She has mandated me to stand for her. So I crave the indulgence of Mr. Chairman to allow me to present the synopsis and for the House to consider.
In fact, this is one of the bill I would say with all confidence too that I believe we consider this bill, this particular bill.
Yes, it has been there.
We have done that, including